Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Planet Film Network. I am... I'm all backwards. I am one of your hosts, Sean Monk.
And I'm your host, TJ Cornwell.
And welcome back to Planet Film Live.
Are we at least looking the right way? Are we looking?
Yeah, we're looking the right way. Yeah. Welcome back to Planet Film. I'd say the only thing wrong that I did with the framing, do you know what it is?
What?
We seem a little low.
It's whatever.
Yeah. As long as we're like the right size, because sometimes one of us looks small, sometimes one of them looks big. But I think we did it for today. As you could see by our threads here, got that? I'll show the people at home. Look at that! It is, ladies and gentlemen, the day of days. It is May the 4th. May the 4th be with you all. Whenever I say May the 4th, I feel like Mike Tyson. You know, May the 4th be with you all. You know what I mean?
I've never heard. Is that a thing?
Mike Tyson has the lisp.
No, I know, but you would say that like he said that before.
No, it's like because it sounds like you have a lisp.
Gotcha.
May the 4th be with you.
Right. Here's what I want to know: why have there not been any announcements as far as a game or something? That's what I'm confused about. I was expecting here's the release date for, like I said earlier, Lego Star Wars Rise of Skywalker, or Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga. Or I'm not even like show, because they did all the shows and stuff like that. But like that's what I want to know. Where are the announcements?
Yeah, I'm a little surprised that we didn't get something. Now, granted that technically the night is still young. I mean, in LA it's like 5 p.m. right now. So I mean, they could do something. Like, I don't know.
I sound spoiled, I think. Did they do something last year? I feel like...
Yeah, they announced... Didn't they announce...
Oh, did they announce the Lego game?
The Lego game. And then... I mean, like, the Clone Wars finale happened.
Right.
I can't think. Was Obi-Wan officially confirmed? No, that was years ago when we were in Toronto. Yeah. Man, maybe May the 4th hasn't been that news heavy the last couple of years, because I can't really place my finger on it on what it could have been. Wow. Yeah. When did Rise of Skywalker come out? 2019?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Now that's a wake up call.
Yeah.
Where's my life going?
Yeah, do you feel old? I do.
Bruh.
It was weird. Like when I was sitting watching,
somehow,
which we'll talk about.
Has returned.
We'll talk about like later. But when I was sitting there watching the Bad Batch like an hour ago, I was like, "This is so like, so like existential and weird." But like, I was sitting here and I was like, "Okay, 16 episodes, 16." I was like, 16 weeks of my life. I was like, where am I going to be in like 16 weeks? It was just really weird. And it's just like some of those things that are like really far away. Like we just got that, again, maybe this will be our segue into our first topic or whatever. But when that announcement came, that trailer yesterday with the movie release dates, I was like, 2023. I was like, where am I going to be in 2023? It was just so weird to think about. And it's one of those existential things that like, just like makes, no sense.
Think about this. We are closer to... Let's see. Are we closer to... Yeah. We're closer to... Oh, my lord. We're closer to Thor, Love, and Thunder than we are to... No. That's 2022. Sorry. We're closer to... Guardians Volume 3 than we are to Endgame.
That's crazy, man. Ugh,
I was
hate
thinking
that.
Thor Love and Thunder. Thor Love and Thunder comes out in 1 year.
Yeah.
It's Guardians that comes out in 2 years. So yeah. What have you well, I was gonna segue into the first topic of the Marvel trailer.
A little bit more banter to go through.
Yeah, because I was gonna say I should probably pull up chat. I forgot. Oh, yeah, by the way, we are, as you can hopefully tell, we're back in the studio. So I am not fully vaccinated yet, but I've got a couple weeks down on my first shot, and my second shot is coming up next week. So, we felt safe enough to, visit. He's been, we've been basically just work and home lately. So we're being as precautious as we possibly can be. And then, like I said, in about a week, I will be fully vaccinated as well as TJ. TJ's been fully vaccinated.
I'm on the precipice of being fully vaccinated.
Oh, that's true.
It's 2 weeks or whatever.
Yeah.
So actually, honestly, I know it's not how it works. Like how it's like, you get like the symptoms like a day after. Like, I didn't have any of that. Mm-hmm. If it kicks in like boom Thursday, and I'm like, I would die. I would hate
because that's like that's when you'd have like the COVID like surging through your body, right? Like you'd be like COVID man.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so actually, first of all, you watched The Father. You have to tell me what your full thoughts. Yeah. I still haven't gotten to Ma Rainey's. I'm gonna get to it.
You haven't gotten to it? You made me spend $20 on The Father, and you haven't watched a Netflix movie?
It wasn't nominated for Best Picture. We were just watching the Best Picture. That's true, I guess. Yeah. So what did you think of The Father? You said. You tell everybody what you said.
I thought it was fantastic. I was very vocal on this forum.
Yeah.
About my thoughts on Chadwick's performance in Ma Rainey. Because yes, The Father was nominated for Best Picture, but what me and TJ have been mainly talking about is the Best Actor race. I think that's what most people have been talking about, and I just realized I did not pull up chat like I said I was going to. I think a lot of people have been talking about the Best Actor race the most coming out of the Oscars, which
right.
You were a couple weeks out. Maybe that was the intended effect of having Best Actor last. I mean, that seems to be the race that everybody's talking about. So I guess maybe kudos to the Oscars. I think they're at least their conversation hopes worked. But I thought Chadwick, I thought he gave the best performance of his career, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I would say probably before this, unless I'm forgetting something major, I would say, like, in my opinion, Marshall was probably my favorite performance of his before this.
Uh-huh.
But I thought that he just crushed it in Ma Rainey's. I think Viola Davis was great. I think she was embodying a good like biopic type character really, really well. But I felt like Chadwick as Levy in that movie kind of had more agency to kind of go further with the character, more so than Viola was able to. So I think he kind of stole the movie in that sense, not only just because of the performance, but because of where the character is situated within the story. So to me, it was a very high bar to set, is what I'm trying to set up here. And I have to say, after watching The Father, I do think Anthony Hopkins gave the best performance, which I did not think that I would say. I mean, TJ was like, it was the best performance, but he didn't have a shot to win. Like that, that's how everybody thought. And then he pulled it out right at the end. Literally right at the end.
Yeah, everybody's asking if you cried. Did you cry during the movie?
I pulled up the YouTube app and I didn't even pull this. Did I cry? Does tearing up count?
Tearing out. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say tearing up counts. Yeah. So, yeah.
I would say one of the most, probably one of the most devastating, there's, two pretty devastating incidents is when...
With Paul?
With Paul.
And then with the nurse?
Okay, It's oh, God, oh, my Lord. It, really choked me up.
Can we just talk about... I did cry at Endgame. That's not a lie. Yeah. I mean, but that's a little different.
I didn't. I teared up, but like I said with Black Widow.
When I was a child, I called my family weak for crying at Marley and Me.
Marley and Me was so sad.
I was like 10 years old, and I was like, "Are you crying?" I was judging them all hardcore. And then I actually had a friend whose dog died the previous week. Ooh. And they went to see Marley and Me as a family, thinking it would be an uplifting dog movie. And boy, were they wrong. Boy, were they wrong.
Oh my God.
Wow. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I thought The Father was very good, is what I'm trying to say. And I think that Anthony Hopkins was great. I actually want to talk. Let's talk about The Father for a little bit. Just a little bit here. Because I really want to talk about the structure of the film. I thought that actually really worked for me. I feel like Christopher Nolan would have really loved The Father. Because it was a little what am I watching? For the first maybe 20, 25 minutes, you're like, what the hell is happening? And then very quickly you realize, I guess we could say, I mean, it's not like a spoilery movie. It's right. We could say what it is.
I don't know. Michelle looks like she wants to watch. She said, "Do you have to pay for the father?" So I don't
okay.
know.
The father is more tier worthy than Endgame. I don't know about that.
It definitely is.
More tier worthy after 10 years
I
of
told
storytelling.
you, Black Widow. I just didn't.
I'm talking about the big one, not
the
Black
big one.
Widow.
Yeah, I teared up, but like,
Yeah.
I don't know, like
When the music.
the father
hits
is more
at the funeral.
Yeah, but the father is like real life. Like that plagues
No,
people all the time.
Absolutely. Like yeah, I mean, I think they're both tier worthy. They're both tier worthy.
Right.
I think it's just for different reasons.
Right. Okay.
I think Endgame is minimally tier worthy, but the part that is hits so hard because you have 12 movies with this character, 10 years.
Fair,
you know what I mean? Like you have almost what I think it's like almost 10 hours of screen time, like of just him, and then you build up to this moment. I actually think I did cry at Endgame, but I didn't cry, but I did tear up almost more in Far From Home. The scene in the airplane with him and Happy.
Oh yeah.
Because that is like, okay, you cry at the moment that it happens, but then this is months later. Neither of these guys have really dealt with the trauma of losing pretty much the most important person in their life, aside from. Well, actually, I was going to say aside from Aunt May for Peter, but I guess Aunt May for both of them, because, you know, that's apparently still happening with Happy and Aunt May.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, so you like the
I
structure?
lost the thread of what I was talking about.
The
Yes,
structure
thank
of
you.
the father?
Yes, I actually really like the structure of it. I won't spoil it because, Michelle, I would definitely recommend watching it. You could go on YouTube. You can go on really any sort of renting thing.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
Yeah, if you just the easiest way is Michelle, make sure you're signed into your own YouTube account. And just literally just search in YouTube The Father, and the first link will be the rent, the rent thing for the movie. It is 100% worth the $20. I enjoyed it so much, and like I said, I really can't get over the structure of it because I really enjoyed that once I actually figured out what the hell was happening.
Did you? I still don't know. I don't know.
Really?
What? No, not at all.
It was just how it was just things from his perspective.
Right. I just didn't. You still don't know though, like what was real. Like I still haven't really put that together. I feel like.
I think the Olivia Colman stuff was real.
Right. Like, if you told me he was where he was at the end of the movie the entire time, I would have been like, okay, sure.
That I don't know.
No, yeah, like
that. I don't know about the timeline, but in terms of, like, the what would you say? In terms of the character or in terms of the actor? I don't know how best to describe what was going on. Yeah. But in terms of that, I think Olivia Colman and then the gentleman from A Knight's Tale who played the real Paul. I think they were the real ones.
Right. Yeah, I would agree with that, yes.
And then great performance also by Doctor Who Sherlock alum Mark Gatiss, getting some good play as the nurse / fake Paul. I think he was really good because even though
is his name Bill?
Yeah. But like his best scene. Because the thing, like the terrible scene that happens with Paul, is with his version of Paul. You kind of see it from both sides, but the actual incident is with his version of Paul. And I thought that he had some really great acting chops. I just like when people, like when, not to say that he's a smaller actor, but he is more of like a writer and producer. Right. I like when people like that get a chance to like get a weird role in a movie that ends up being nominated for Best Picture. You know what I mean? Something like that. So I thought everybody in the cast did a fantastic job. The scene with the cup, with Olivia Colman, at the sink. I thought that was very good. I almost cried at that. I was like, oh my God. I was like, that is like that's the most realistic thing. I mean, that's not a spoiler. She breaks a cup. But when she's trying to pick it up and it just keeps falling back on the ground, that's like the most like, it's like the most realistic feeling in the world. So that was Father Talk.
Last thing I will come recommending is Q Into the Storm. It's the QAnon documentary on HBO Max.
Okay, and that'll do it for the Planet Film Network. Actually,
no, it's actually like
I think you should put this in context that this is.
I don't believe in QAnon. I don't follow that kind of stuff. This really isn't. It's just informational.
Educational.
It's an educational documentary. Yeah. It gets into the political, stuff like that. It does, but it also leans into basically the guy's goal is to track down who is Q, right?
Mm-hmm. Brian Quinn on Impractical Jokers.
But I was like. I wasn't gonna watch it. Then my coworker recommended it to me, and this shit was crazy. Do you know? Okay, so when you think I didn't even know like what QAnon was exactly. I really try not to delve into politics like whatsoever. Like it's just like people bickering like side.
Do you know who the president is right now?
I do. Yes. Donald Trump, right?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. But so
Beijing Barry.
Basically, like the story of like Q is like it started off as like this person on Reddit dropping Q drops as they call them. So it's basically like a little bit of information each time, and the things that they would say were kind of ambiguous, where it's like they could come true, but they would come true basically, in a week or two, time like that. It got banned on Reddit. And I think it moved to 4chan after that. And then it got banned from 4chan. And then, did you know there's an 8chan?
I did know that.
I did not know that.
One layer deeper. I did know that.
I didn't know that. So
I've never been on it.
Basically, Q had been living on 8chan for a long time and kept doing these Q drops. And it was a whole bunch of people trying to kind of like, and basically the theory that people came up with was that it was somebody in Trump's circle that was dropping this information. And again, they would say some ambiguous things that would come true in the few weeks. So, and that's kind of where the whole like cult aspect type started to form around it.
Because you're right about, Donald Trump's going to have a dentist appointment in 1 week's time, and then all of a sudden it's Donald Trump's going to be the president forever.
Well, like at one point there was a post, I believe, where it was like Donald Trump's signature on like a piece of paper, and then there was like people were like oh, is it Trump, is it Steve Bannon, is it stuff like that.
And do you think it is?
Well, I know who it is. I can tell you who. I'm not going to actually. I don't know for sure, but I'm 99.9% sure I know who it is. And basically it's this guy.
Hang on one sec. He had nothing to tell me.
No, but it's basically the documentary guy kind of going around. He kind of starts at the beginning of 8chan, how the website started, and then its founders, people who got the code, and it's pretty wacky story. They at one point have to flee the Philippines before the indictment comes down on this one guy.
What?
They escape to LA. It's pretty crazy. I highly suggest it. And you'll know who Q is at the end. I promise you.
Okay.
Like it's not like that's Q, but it's like there's this final interview, and literally like the guy, the documentarian goes like he literally goes like he's doing this final interview with this guy, and he goes, and at that moment he slipped up, and he knew it, and I knew it, and then they just both laughed at each other, and it was like but the guy throughout is definitely like. He's like screaming to you that he is without like saying it. And he like, we're like, cause there's this one point where he's like, the website 8chan went down, and the guy who was in charge of the site and was like, yeah, Q was able to post, but nobody else could post. I don't know how. And it's like in everybody's head. And it's like, yeah, cause it's fucking you. Cause only you have access to the website cause you're the admin.
Yeah.
But yeah, I highly suggest it if you're looking for a documentary. It's 6 episodes, they're like an hour long, probably. But yeah, it's very good.
Sounds like it. Let's see. What else was I gonna say? Oh yeah. Dang. What was the other thing I was gonna say? Oh yeah. So recently, I've been getting into. I've always been a fan of his, but I've been watching a bunch of his show and stuff and old clips of. If you are a fan of him, he's a very particular type of humor. But I've been watching a lot of Norm Macdonald lately.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that SNL and stuff.
I think so. Yeah.
He's a very particular, dry, very. How should I put this? Socially inappropriate humor.
Yeah.
Like, but that's kind of his like shtick.
Mm-hmm.
And he has they actually pulled it from YouTube.
Oh wow.
Because so he had this self-started podcast, the Norm Macdonald Live, it was called. And it ran for like a couple years. He did like, I think it used to be weekly, but then it was like once a month. So it ran for a few years, but there's only like 60 episodes. But you can only find 3 on YouTube because Netflix gave him his own show called Norm Macdonald Has a Show. It's which is on Netflix, which is basically the exact same show. It's just it was more of a show format, like 40 minutes rather than long form, like an hour and a half, like a podcast. But it was still set up like a podcast. So when Netflix gave him the show in the contract, they bought the rights to all the old Norm Macdonald Lives, and then they just like torched them.
Oh,
like they just pulled them all off of YouTube, and you can't find them anywhere.
Oh, yeah. They didn't post them. They didn't put them on Netflix or anything like that. Oh,
and I'm like, well, what the hell?
Yeah.
But the first 3 episodes are on YouTube. Apparently, Netflix purposely left those on there so that people would, if they find those, go and watch the Netflix show.
Gotcha, right.
But yeah, that's just really, really funny. It's been cracking me up and stuff. So I heavily recommend that if you have Netflix, or you watch those first 3 on YouTube. Yeah, I was genuinely not expecting Norm Macdonald. Well, you never know what you're gonna get when you tune in the Planet Film Network. So you wanna go into our first story?
Topic? Yeah. Oh, am I leading it?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, you wanna do Marvel or the Flash first? Because really, those are the only 2.
Yeah, we can just do Marvel first.
Okay. So first of all, I will say, thank you guys so much again, because we are, I would say, confident. Also, there's 5 people in the chat right now. Everybody make yourselves heard in the chat. Let us know that you are watching. Let us know that you are tuning in. Join the conversation, all that fun stuff. Speaking of joining the conversation, you guys really showed up to that video that PFN Reacts that we put out. Gosh, was it yesterday?
It was yesterday.
Yeah. Okay. It was really yesterday?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It's at 1.8 last time I checked.
1.8, yeah. Wow. Okay, yeah. So you guys really showed up for that video, and we are, I would say, within a few days, we're going to be at 150 subscribers.
Yeah.
Which is, like, crazy because it took us, like we said, it took us about 300 days to get to 50. Then it took us about about a month to get to 100, and now we're like 3 weeks later we're at almost 150. So the subscribers are increasing, and the time it takes to get them is decreasing, which is
good,
positive. that is a good direction. Although I think we've noticed it's kind of the name of the game,
with the videos,
that some videos are going to hit big, some videos are going to be 18 views. Like what was the one that I did?
The Chris Pratt one?
Yeah,
that movie? I don't know
the
what
Tomorrow
the movie
War
was.
trailer with Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
That one's, I think, at 18 views.
Yeah. And then some of them pop off for no reason.
Yeah, exactly. And then some of them are kind of like late bloomers. Like some of them will be, I'll go to sleep and they'll be 10, and then I'll wake up and it'll be like 106 or something like that. But yeah. But by and large, yes, we have some that do less than 20. Yes, we have some that do almost 2,000.
Right.
But by and large, all of the videos usually average around like 60 to 70 views, which I think is very positive. I think it's very good. I mean, that's huge compared. I mean, again, the thing that we always try to keep in perspective is that this started from 0. Like, from 2, because me and TJ subscribed to it. But it started from the ground up, and you guys have made that possible. That we're already halfway to 200.
Right.
I mean, halfway to our goal of 200 since 100, but we're 3/4 of the way to 200 already. So we appreciate that a lot. But let's go ahead and because if you guys didn't watch the video, TJ was at work while it happened, so I did it by myself. So what am I trying to say? I am having a major brain
Go
fart.
check out the
TJ
reaction
is
if you
here
want.
right now. Let's get his thoughts on it. Jesus.
I did watch the trailer. I thought it was a great trailer. I thought the best part was hands down the end game in theater reaction. I thought that was cool. Do you think that was like somebody they hired to go to a theater to do that?
I think that particular...
Or that was something they pulled off Twitter?
No, I think that particular video was the actual Russo brothers.
Oh.
The Russo brothers went to a screening and recorded the whole movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and Disney let them.
Oh, well, yeah, obviously.
Yeah, well, yeah. But I think, because I've seen some of their recording before, and if I'm thinking back to the video, I think it was their angle.
Okay.
So I think it was their screening.
Gotcha.
But yeah.
All right. Yeah, I was really hype. I'm glad we got some Turtles footage a little bit. Kumail looked awesome. I'm so excited for that movie. Spider-Man got a date. Duh. I'm interested to see if some of these dates stay.
In my opinion, I think this trailer was saying these are the dates.
Yeah.
These are the dates. There might be a Disney Plus slapped on it at some point. But these are the dates.
I thought the Wakanda Forever title, that's a great title. The Marvels as well. I love that
That's
title.
my favorite one.
So
I
obviously
love
we have
Chadwick, but
Monica and then Miss Marvel and then Captain Marvel. Kamala. Yep. And I loved the the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 like pulsating.
Oh my god, I love that. Did you watch the reaction?
No, I didn't watch the reaction.
I spent maybe like a good 45 seconds of the 8-minute video just talking about the Guardians 3 logo. Because I was like, oh, it's different than the other two. And I really liked like you said, I really liked like the pulsating thing. I saw a fan theory that said that the logo is always the color of the character that dies. Because the first movie was brown and Groot dies. Spoiler alert.
Oh, wow.
The second movie was bright blue and red.
Right.
Yondu.
Yeah.
And then they said that this one's gray, so they were like maybe Drax.
Gray. What? Yeah. Really? You think so?
Well, I just saw that fan theory. It was just, I mean, it's held up for the first two.
Yeah.
I would say the second movie is 100% Yondu's colors. I mean, that is the bright blue of his skin and the red of, his fin and his jacket and stuff. Like, that one definitely, to me, is true. I don't know about the first one. I don't know if the first logo, I would consider it brown. I think I would consider it more like gold or whatever.
I think, like, just seeing these titles and these dates just made me look forward to all these movies more. Like, I could say, like, I was like, oh, Black Widow, like, yeah, I'll see it. But I'm actually, like, pretty, hyped for it. Yeah. Again, Shang-Chi, I'm hyped. Eternal, Spider-Man, and Doctor Strange, of course, I am very, very hyped for.
I can't believe how soon that is already.
I know, right?
Like, just when WandaVision ended, we were like, it's so far away, and now we're like, it's less than a year.
Yeah. It was also a trailer that was like welcoming back. It was one of those like come back to the theaters.
Celebrate Marvel Studios celebrates the movies. Or
so I like that they that it wasn't like.
And I loved that the entire. First of all, we should talk about too. The trailer opens with, a kind of touching tribute, kind of from wherever he may be right now, like from Stan Lee. Like that was that was great. With the footage of the MCU, with Gamora and Nebula and a couple other pairings. I just thought it was so touching, and I like that they kind of let half of the entire trailer is like the touching tribute with like Stan Lee and stuff,
right?
And then it kind of transitions from Stan Lee to Chadwick, and then halfway through they're like, this is what came before, and now we're and then they just like we're just like bang 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 bang, like DC's like. We're finally getting it together, and Marvel's like, this is just what we have coming to theaters. Bang, 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 bang. I mean, what is it? There's not.
It would have been interesting to see
9 or 10 movies in this.
There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah.
10.
Yeah. It would have been interesting to see like the shows too.
Yeah, this is nothing of the Disney Plus shows.
Yeah.
That's 10 movies coming in the next 2 years, and I think in that same 2 years there is also 12 shows.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane.
That is ridiculous. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, yeah, let's talk a little bit more. Let's just touch on a little bit the what were your thoughts on the? Let's start with Black Panther. So, what were your thoughts on the Wakanda Forever title? What do you think it means for the overall story, and how do you think it?
I think
a tribute.
Yeah, I think while the movie will obviously, I don't know how they're gonna. Maybe they have to. I feel like in the movie address, like, Black Panther, died or something like that.
Oh yeah,
like,
for sure.
But again, it's not. It's kind of incorporating. It's not just like.
Him.
I think Black Panther 2. Obviously, that wasn't like going to be the official name.
Mm-hmm.
But like Wakanda Forever is like all encompassing of everybody in Wakanda.
I think it shows everybody that the whole Black Panther section of the MCU is not reliant on T'Challa. It's about Wakanda.
Right.
It's about who the Black Panther. It's about vibranium. It's about the culture of their country. It's about it's all about that. It's not as much specifically about the one guy. It's about the whole country.
Right.
Which
yeah.
I think I like.
So I'm interested to see like how that whole movie turns out. It's a little bit more than a year away, which is kind of crazy to think about. It's in July 18th or July 8th, 2022.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm very interested to see how that movie comes out.
I mean, I say wow, but then again, like, I think Ryan Coogler's been working on it for like 8 months.
Right.
So they're
yeah.
probably
he had to
they might even be,
it and,
they might even have started filming and just not said anything.
That's possible. It's very possible. I know, obviously, I wish they would have thrown something in there from like Doctor Strange or like Spider-Man. That would have made my day. But Eternals, I was happy with. Eternals just looks like it's made by like an Oscar-winning director, if that makes sense.
Oh, really?
Like, so, obviously, Chloe Zhao. But oh yeah, not Frances McDormand.
No. A film by Chloe Zhao. There you go.
But it just looks like pristine in that way, I guess.
Yeah, it looks crisp.
Yeah. Some movies
like
are
shot on
like
film.
that.
It's not, but
it
not, looks like it.
You
is.
never know.
And man, Camille, he could cut a tree with that jawline.
Yeah.
What the hell? What happened to Dinesh?
It was cool to see like Richard Madden too. You know, we didn't see. Was Kit Harington?
No,
in
he
there?
was not.
He was not. Okay.
Which is like, I like that. I like that he wasn't in it because he's not an Eternal. He's
not. Okay.
No, he's playing Black Knight. So he's like
right.
I would like them to kind of keep his look. I mean, I'm sure once we get closer to it, I'm sure a Funko Pop or a Lego set is going to spoil what he looks like. But in a broader sense, I'd like to keep him as under wraps as possible, just because I think it would be a cool reveal in the movie.
Danielle said, "Did you guys get those posters? Because she wants one. Did you get
posters?
More? The Nomadland ones. I'm assuming she's talking about. Did you get more than one?
I don't know. They're in the bin.
Oh, okay.
Like they're in the, like Danielle, if you want to rock up, they're in the break room.
Gotcha.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because I think didn't her theater didn't even get Nomadland.
Probably not.
Yeah, no. I don't think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I just thought the footage looked really good for Eternals.
Well, let's talk about what about the Marvels, because I loved. To me, that is my favorite. Mm-hmm. As much as I love the Wakanda Forever thing, and I think you nailed it on the head. I think what we said, that it does a great job of both honoring Chadwick and honoring T'Challa, but also saying his legacy will go on beyond him. Mm-hmm. So I think that nailed it perfectly.
I think the Marvels will be interesting because it'll be cool and interesting to see how they, because obviously you'll have Kamala has her own show, but it'll be interesting to see how they kind of bring those characters in fully to the MCU. Like obviously we had Tiana Paris and we had Monica in what's it called, WandaVision. But it'll be interesting to see like how the three of them share one movie together.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that we've had team movies and we've had duo movies, but this is the first trio movie.
Right. Because like,
which I'm sure they'll be able to.
Like
handle,
you've
just
had
like
obviously Captain Marvel 1, but like Miss Marvel will have had her own show.
Well, it's interesting because This is gonna be the last time this is gonna be the last time I. What am I saying? I'm gonna try to make this the last time I refer to it as Captain Marvel 2 because it's not Captain Marvel 2. Yeah. But I think it's funny that going into Captain Marvel 2, Carol Danvers has had the least amount of screen time.
Right.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Because she only had her movie, which she probably had like an hour and 10 minutes of screen time. And then you look like Monica, she was in 8 hours of WandaVision, and then Kamala's going to have her own show with her as the main character.
So it'll be interesting to see how these arcs continue and how they kind of share one movie together. Because I think, obviously, the character that probably needs the most arc to keep, like, the more story growth is probably Monica, because I feel like we've seen her the least, or maybe her story has been told the least, maybe, because she just got her powers.
Well, yeah, because Carol... has had less screen time than Monica, but we know almost all of Carol's story up to this point. Yeah, you know what I mean. In the I can't believe I'm saying limited screen time. I don't mean it like that. I just mean literal screen time. That like Monica has been on the screen longer than Carol, just because Carol's only been in two movies.
Right.
But in those two movies, we have seen her. Beginning, middle, and now where she's at. Monica, we have seen her a lot, but her actually being Photon, we just started. Literally just started in the finale of WandaVision.
Yeah. Do you think Jude Law shows up?
No.
I kind of hope not. I'm done with this character.
Come on, Veers. Kamala's going to be like, why'd you call her Veers? It's like a hand slam. Oh, my God. Can we just talk about... I have full confidence in it. But I cannot wait to see the visual effects on her hand.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm sure they're going to nail it because they nail everything.
Yeah.
But... to see that in live action, and we see it in the Avengers game, but that looks obviously CG because it's animation. Yeah. But I want to see that in a photorealistic CG because that is going to be crazy.
Huh.
Because like, we have the Hulk, but like he's dyed green, and that kind of hides any of the weirdness.
That will be very interesting to see how they pull that off. Because like it's just like,
how do you shoot that?
I don't know.
Maybe is there going to be a lot of the camera going to go back?
I feel like you have to put this movie in 3D, and then she kind of does that at the camera.
Oh my God, that would be terrifying.
Kind of like I don't know if you ever seen those trailers for it was Spy Kids 3D when they would have Carmen, right? That was her name, the girl. She was like grabbing something out of the screen, and the audience was like,
talking about the toy maker.
Yeah.
Yeah. Steve Buscemi in the second one.
Yeah. And then
Do you think God too stays in heaven because he fears what he's created?
Oh, Spy Kids, man.
Ugh. What a thing.
And what did you think of the? Or did we already know the Ant-Man and Wasp? We already knew that title.
We knew the title. We just didn't know the date.
The date. Okay.
Yeah. None of the 2023 stuff had dates.
Gotcha.
Until now.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what's up with that one.
I'm so excited that Ant-Man is soon. It's the February. It's the early slot of 2023. So that'll be nice. That's another one that I'm assuming. Well, actually, we already know they're in pre-production because Evangeline Lilly, she put on her Instagram. I think it was either her Instagram or her Twitter that she had a fitting for her new Wasp costume.
Gotcha.
For Quantumania, like this week.
All right, so let's move into the Flash story.
Yeah, so this is some unfortunate news. Hello, get out of here. There we go. So this is some unfortunate news that is coming from the CW. So this is, TJ is just starting to get into that whole.
It's probably the only CW shit thing I'll ever watch, for being honest. So
Superman and Lois, yeah. But the other show that is kind of the it's kind of even though Superman and Lois has the bigger budget, the Flash is still the flagship CW show. I would say.
Right.
I would say the Flash is probably. I think I'm correct in saying I think the Flash is the flagship CW show, like not just DC. I think it is the highest rated and the most watched CW show. But we have two big heavy hitters are unfortunately departing the season departing the series after 7 seasons, and that's Carlos Valdez, who plays Cisco Ramon and all the other multiverse versions that we've gotten of Cisco, and then obviously Tom Cavanaugh, which in my opinion, Cisco, he has come in and out and stuff, you know what I mean, but he's always been constant. But Tom Cavanaugh, to me, is like he's almost the co-lead of the show. Like he plays so he's played basically probably like 40 versions of Harrison Wells and Eobard Thawne and the Reverse Flash, and Harry Wells and H.R. Wells and Sherlock Wells, and that's like kind of his shtick after the first 2 seasons, was that every year, at the end of every year, his character either dies or goes away, and then they get a new version of him from the multiverse. But this season, I don't think I'm ruining anything, but I'll say spoiler alert for the Flash TV show. This season, all of the other Welleses across the multiverse died. And so the one that's on there now is the very last one in existence. So I'm not too surprised that they are doing an exit, because they have basically taken away the trope that he has always used. But I am sad nonetheless. To me, I don't know if this means. I mean, I know that he's been the villain in multiple seasons of the Flash, the Reverse Flash, but I mean, he is Barry's complete. He's the Joker to the Flash, like, you know what I mean, like, so. It'd kind of be weird if the Reverse Flash just never shows up ever again. Yeah. Unless maybe they strike some sort of deal that maybe the Flash ends with like season 10 or something. And then maybe they say, Tom Cavanaugh is going to come back for the final arc of the show or something like that. Just because it's kind of weird to me, like, how do you do that without his arch nemesis? Because like Arrow, kind of like, there was some seasons with Ra's al Ghul, there was some seasons with Malcolm Merlyn, a couple other people, and then it just kind of ended with it actually ended with a time travel storyline, which is very cool. But yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that this is kind of they're leaving but with the door open to come back, just because they're 2 huge characters on the show. But yeah. So sad news for me, because I'm still getting caught up on this season of The Flash as I'm watching Superman and Lois. But yeah.
How many episodes did you watch this one? Still
2.
2.
Because I watched it when you told me that they were adding them to HBO Max.
Oh, right.
Because there was only one available on YouTube
really?
TV.
They must go away. Yeah. Okay.
I think that's why they put them on HBO Max, because they were like, if you want to get caught up before it comes back, you have to watch it on HBO.
Okay, gotcha.
Just move the show to HBO Max. I went in this whole rant like a month ago, and clearly nobody at Warner Brothers listened to the show. Just move all those shows to the CW.
You mean to
HBO Max? Yeah. What was it? Something else. Oh, Pennyworth, the Alfred show that is apparently
still on.
It's still going on Epix. Apparently the showrunner is openly campaigning to get moved to HBO Max. Which is like for season 3.
Is the show bad?
I watched the first season. I didn't think it was bad. I thought it was good. Is it necessary? That's up to, I don't know. Mileage may vary.
Was Gotham necessary?
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
I was thinking, I was like, this weekend I might start I'm starting I'm going to do a new series, I think. A new franchise of movies to rank. I think I might start Star Trek this weekend. Not show. Are you okay?
Yeah, okay. Happy Star Wars.
Oh my god.
The originals or
I'm gonna do both.
Okay.
How many original movies are there?
9.
9. Whew. Okay. Well, it's like Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
Literally.
But then there's 3 more.
Then there's 3 more. But yeah, I might start that this weekend. So do you want to get into Invincible season 1?
Do you want to do Invincible first or Bad Batch first? Because Bad Batch, I think, will be shorter.
All right, let's do Bad Batch first.
Okay. All right, so here we go, everybody. Oh, let's see. Still not happy. What was it? No, only nominated.
She's not happy about how they recast.
Cassie Lang.
Cassie Lang.
Yeah. Emma Furman, right?
Yeah.
With Newton. What's her name?
Catherine Newton.
Catherine Newton.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, not totally. Speaking of HBO Max, if you want to go watch Tenet's out right now. HBO Max.
Who was I talking to? Somebody at work said, "Oh, I think it was Peter."
Mm-hmm.
He said he watched it twice and he still didn't understand it. And I was like, well, fair enough.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, Tenet now streaming on HBO Max.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome back to the Planet Film Network, sponsored by Christopher Nolan's Tenet.
Mm-hmm.
Exclusive in Fortnite cinemas across the world. All right, so it is Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you. We will never mention Tenet again. Well, who knows? Let bygones be Qui-Gons. So, today, we had, this morning, late last night, however you want to talk.
3 a.m.
Yeah, however you want to call it. Here's a little fun fact about me. I am currently running on about an hour and 45 minutes of sleep since yesterday.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's nice. I stayed up. Forgot it was well over an hour.
Yeah, it's like an hour 20 or something like that.
Probably got to bed around 5 o'clock and then had to wake up at 7:45 for work. No, sorry, 6:45.
Well, gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah. So yeah, we're chilling. Yeah, I got the Red Bulls right over there.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be great. So I don't even know how I'm actually being this coherent as I am. Bad Batch came out.
Yeah, it did.
What were your thoughts?
I thought it was
spoiler free first, and then we'll.
I thought it was a good premiere.
So you hated it?
I didn't. No, I didn't hate it.
Wow.
I didn't know D. Bradley Baker voiced like everybody. I probably should have put that one together. But yeah, I thought it was a good first episode.
Omega?
No, that was
that's
Michelle Ang.
That's what I thought.
I thought it was a good start to the show. I'm interested to see where it goes from here. I liked how this isn't really a spoiler. I liked how they interwove episode 3 into the beginning. Like they did it with season 7
I didn't
of
send you that TikTok.
Clone Wars.
Yeah. The shots in that are the actual shots from episode 3.
Oh, okay.
That was all new animated for this episode, just for the intro.
Okay.
It was literally, I saw a TikTok that was going frame by frame, and it was literally like when you see Obi-Wan like twirl his lightsaber to get rid of the electro staff. That's the exact same frame and movement and twirl of the electro staff that we see in episode 3.
Nice.
And then when Anakin cuts the droids next to Palpatine and it's animated, that's the exact same shot from the movie.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, like in season 7 they were like, here's what happened between, and then in this one they were like, here is literally what happened but in animated. I was like, oh crap, awesome.
But yeah, I thought it was a great episode. It kind of came how I kind of expected it to. You get kind of these little like little moments where you're wondering about Crosshair, right? That's his name. And then the episode kind of leans into that more and more into the end. So yeah, I'm interested to see what happens, and I'm interested to see who this person is that they're talking about at the end. Do you know? Because I don't.
So the only thing that I guess it's not really a spoiler unless you've watched 7 seasons of the Clone Wars.
Right.
So do you remember the Cut LaQuaine story arc? The clone who didn't know he was a clone, the one that deserted and became a farmer that Rex found?
If I Google it, I probably will.
He had like the Twi'lek wife.
Let's just
Rex was like, "You're a clone," and he was like, "What?"
Oh yeah.
That is who I think it might be, and I don't think it's Rex, because you got to remember right now this episode. If I'm doing my math correct, this episode, when this episode ends, I don't even think Anakin is Darth Vader yet.
That's what I was trying to figure out.
Because like halfway through the episode, is when Palpatine is giving the "will be reorganized" speech,
which
and
during
that happens with over an hour and a half left of Revenge of the Sith, because that happens, and then he sends Anakin to Mustafar.
Yeah. Which during that I was like, Did they reuse the? I was like, they must.
That
have.
was definitely
That,
Ian.
he's credited.
Yeah,
in
that
the
was for sure
IMDb,
Ian
but
McDermott,
I was
yeah.
like, oh yeah, they must have. You know, I mean, why wouldn't you?
Which kind of goes to show to me that I think maybe Palpatine is not going to be in this show.
Yeah, I don't
because I think they would have reused who was it? Whoever was doing Palpatine in the very end of Clone Wars. Yeah.
Right.
But yeah.
So what did you think?
Yeah, I thought it was really good. I thought it was a very good entry point to this new story.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was very unknown what the structure would be like. And the answer is it's just more Clone Wars.
Yeah, I think that's
got
fair.
the voiceover and everything. Like,
I think it's. I feel like it'd be go too far to say that it was another season of Clone Wars.
No, yeah, definitely
because
different.
it's
Although
not...
the title card does say. Now I don't know if it'll say this every episode, but the title card said Star Wars: The Clone Wars,
the Bad Batch.
The Bad Batch.
Yeah, I mean it like disperses, it vanishes or crumbles into the Bad Batch.
So
like,
I guess we'll see next episode.
Yeah, like because I don't think you'll get those reoccurring characters from Clone Wars. That,
I think a lot of the special people that we saw in this episode, I think that's it. Although we can speculate on that. I mean, if you want, like
like I was like, oh, maybe we see Obi-Wan.
Yeah,
maybe,
like I was just all right. Let me ask you that. Do you think at any because we have executive producer of the show, not Dave, but somebody else. Their name is slipping out of my mind right now. I'm so sorry. But they said that basically they're very excited to see fans' reactions to later episodes.
Jennifer Corbett?
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
They're excited to see the reactions to later episodes because there's more legacy character cameos, right? So who do you think that could be? Who do you think like
legacy
are some legacy
is...
characters?
What?
Just anyone from before.
Oh,
just
geez.
anyone, really.
Okay.
Like a known character. Like, do you think we could ever get Obi-Wan in this show?
I think so.
I think we could.
Why not?
I mean,
definitely. Granted, we still don't know what he's doing that time when he takes Luke to Tatooine, and then Episode 4, we don't know what's going on in that time period, which is what the Obi-Wan show is.
You could totally have
about.
a tie-in arc with the Obi-Wan
with
series.
the Obi-Wan series, yeah. But yeah, I think Obi-Wan maybe, but I think it'll be mainly their show, chronicling their adventures. I don't think you're gonna get a lot.
It's gonna be people that they come across or people that interact with
like
them.
Rex. I think that's very possible.
Well, we know he was in the trailer.
Oh right,
yeah.
Well, what about like the people that he's with in Rebels?
Like Wolf and Gregor.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this show would be. You know, I got to be quite honest with you. I really almost think that Rex is just going to be a main character in this show. I think the one shot of him in the trailer was a little bit of a throwing off the scent. I do think he's such a fan favorite character, and Dave Filoni loves him so much, and he makes so much sense to go with them.
Well, do you throw Ahsoka in there then?
I don't. I think eventually, yeah, but not like all the time, and probably not soon. I would say, because I think Rex and Ahsoka. I don't think that them meeting in Rebels was the very first time they saw each other since season 7 of the Clone Wars. But it strikes me that it's been many years, and they probably won't see each other for many years after season 7.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So maybe she might show up in like a season 4 or 5 of this or something like that. But yeah, but that's my kind of semi-theory, is that I think Rex is just going to wind up being a mainstay character in the show.
Because like you said,
because they're kind of doing the same thing.
I feel like.
And they're kind of doing the same thing. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
It's but to answer your question, yes, I think we'll actually see in this show Wolf and Gregor getting their chips out. Because that also could be the person.
I was gonna say, was that ever discussed in Rebels or no?
No, just that they had the mark.
Right.
But it was never discussed when or how they got them out. But I think the person that they're going to see at the end of the episode could be Cut LaQuaine. I don't know how they would know about him because Rex kept him a big secret, but somebody that they might know, because he was a clone commando trooper, is Gregor. Remember Gregor? We thought he exploded and died,
right?
But then he's alive in Rebels. And that's the only thing we see. Like, we see him. We see Rex and the gang fly off as Gregor's, fighting off a bunch of droids, and then the restaurant that he works at explodes, and that's the last thing we see. So I think it could be maybe Gregor that they're going to see, because he was a clone commando. They're special forces, so maybe they knew each other, that kind of thing. But or it could just be somebody who's totally not a clone. Who do you think it could be? Who do you think the person that they're meeting could be?
I really have no idea. You remember way more about the shows than I do. That was a struggle to remember that arc that you're talking about with the farm. What's the name again?
Cut LaQuaine.
Yeah, I was like, I really had to Google him, and I was like, oh yeah, there we go. I remember that arc. Yeah, I really don't know. I think it's definitely going to be somebody that you've seen before. I don't think it'll be anybody new. What do you think the towards the end of the episode, or basically the last 2 minutes, we have I forget their name, the Kaminoans. What are those two names? The Prime Minister, I believe it is, and then the woman as well.
Nala Se is the woman.
Yeah.
The medical scientist?
I mean, you could just say Prime Minister, right? Because that's what he is. The Prime Minister of Kamino.
It's gonna kill me.
What do you think is when he tells her, he's like, oh, don't say anything if they ask. Obviously, I mean, I'm really trying not to spoil anything, but when that character goes with them, what do you think she's referring to?
I think that Nala Se. I think that I think that's kind of her pet project.
Yeah.
If not, almost like a maternal.
I think it was almost like a Boba Fett type thing like that.
Yeah, with him and Tanwi from episode 2. Yeah, I feel the exact same way. So I think that she is going to look out for that character over anything else. I don't think she did what she did for the Bad Batch. I think she did it for that character.
For that character.
Yeah, and I think the Prime Minister, I think he also wants that character protected, but I don't think he knows why that character is so important. Yeah. So I don't think he knows everything.
Yeah.
And I think that Nala Se is gonna keep it kind of
hush hush.
Yeah, hush hush. Yeah. On that part.
Because I think, not spoiling anything. The way she shot that gun, I was like, oh, she could be that character.
All right, let's just talk. We're gonna do real quick spoilers for the Bad Batch. Literally, we're just gonna.
Don't you have a spoiler thing? Or no?
Yeah. Okay.
We're
just gonna do a real quick thing on. Is that it? There you go. We're gonna do a real quick spoiler discussion just on this part of the conversation, because we will be talking full spoilers in depth of this episode and episode 2
on
Saturday, for Planet Council. So you can join us there. So full spoilers. It's at the top of the screen. So what do you think Omega is?
I think she's another, because they reference it earlier in the episode that she's when Tarkin is there's 5 of them, and he thinks that it's Echo, but it's not.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that's what she is, one of them in some way, shape, or form. But what is her
Okay,
ability,
so here are the 2 questions that I've seen online, or the 2 options that I've seen online, and that is that she is either Force sensitive, which obviously, if she's Force sensitive, that ties into everything that ties into Mando, that ties into Rise of Skywalker, especially. Although it would kind of break Rise of Skywalker a little bit if she's a Force sensitive clone, because that was kind of the whole struggle. But what I think is I think she actually has a little bit of all of their abilities in her.
Wow, that'd be something.
That's what I think. Because that shot, like you said, that shot was very
good,
very Crosshair like.
Yeah.
And when she's talking to Crosshair in the cell, just 1 second. Oh, that's right. Never mind. I forgot if Michelle watched it already. She, when they're in the cell, she goes up to Crosshair and says, "I know what you're about to do. Just don't do it." she's like, "I know what you're about to do, and it's not your fault.
Right.
Like, but please, just like don't do it."
Right.
And that to me is like, she feels something there, or maybe it's a premonition, like a force sensitive thing, or she could just feel what he's gonna do, because that's what Hunter's ability is that he's like an empath. He can, he's got heightened senses. He can feel emotions and feel, the energies of like whatever, and obviously he just has all heightened senses, regular senses too, and she appears to be very smart, like tech. And we just haven't seen, we don't know if she's like super strong, like Wrecker, but that's what I am leaning towards, is that she will be she will kind of have all of their powers combined.
Yeah, I just figured maybe she's like another Crosshair, but I feel like that's too easy.
Yeah, I feel like it would be too easy to just have it be like, oh yeah, she's just like one of them.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I think it would be cooler to be like, she's and it would make sense that Nalase would be like, well,
yeah,
let me Tinker Tailor.
That's one small thing that Michelle says in the chat, that she when she's like, oh, I overheard, she's telling Hunter, she's like, oh, I overheard Tarkin saying like one of you, like, she doesn't say that to him though.
What?
She doesn't say he knows that one of you
betrayed him.
Yeah. She doesn't say that. I'm like, why wouldn't you tell Hunter that?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. What did she stop short of saying? She's like, Hunter, and he goes, and then she says, never mind.
Did she do that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Before they go and see other character who we don't need to spoil here, because that'd be just a useless spoiler, because it doesn't really contribute to anything.
Right.
But yeah, she goes like the first time when they leave to the mission to Onderon.
Oh no, I meant like, no, because doesn't.
Oh, you mean after?
After when they're about to get on the ship to leave.
Droid.
Yes.
Gotcha.
And he's like, oh, I know one of them. Like, one of them says that, this person didn't die. Mm-hmm. But she doesn't say that to him. But she's standing right there. She heard him say it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, why didn't she say that? But I don't know. It's just like it was a small thing. That was like, that makes no sense.
Well, maybe there's more secrets.
There could be. I don't know.
I mean, it's only episode 1.
Yeah.
I think Omega's got a lot of info in her head. And I think she is going to be very much in control of when that info comes out.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah. I think we could wrap up for Bad Batch there. We just wanted to talk about it a little bit. We'll take the spoiler warning off if any of you out there muted. So yeah, tune in on Saturday. Like we said, it'll probably be a shorter form show, but we're still working on that whole concept and everything like that, just to see how people respond to it. But that will be on Saturday. So tune in there, because we will talk about the rest of this episode, as well as episode 2, which I believe they said episode 2 is going to be like 30 minutes, right?
Probably something like that.
Yeah,
I have to imagine something like that.
Gosh, I'm just so thankful that we seem to be getting in the groove of Disney Plus finally having a little bit longer run times.
Right. Yeah.
Like, because I remember Clone Wars Season 7 was very much Clone Wars length.
Yeah.
Like, they were, what was it? The finale of Clone Wars was 19 minutes?
Something like that.
Or like 17 minutes or something? I think the finale
short.
was like 19 minutes.
Yeah.
And I remember we were like, God, that was a year ago. Can you believe that was a year ago?
Yeah.
Let me ask you this.
Is that pre-pandemic?
No. That was during the pandemic. Let me ask you this. Clone Wars started pre-pandemic and then ended during it. Because it started in February.
Oh, okay.
Let me ask you this. I'm not going to say it's a spoiler because the episode's a year old. But I'll talk around it. The person who appears in the very final scene of Clone Wars, do you think we will get him in this show? I think we might.
Maybe.
I think we might.
It seems like it's centered around Tarkin.
Yeah.
So, it's a maybe.
I think Tarkin is probably going to be the main season 1 villain.
Mm-hmm.
And then, which, awesome.
Right.
Like, anytime, it constantly blows my mind, the fact that Peter Cushing was in one movie for, 14 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And this
character
just, was such a, the fans gravitated towards it so much that now, I mean, they brought the man back from the dead, for Christ's sake, for a
Rogue
movie.
One, yeah.
And then, let alone that, but he's been, he was obviously one of the main series villains in Clone Wars, or in Rebels, and then he had a few arcs in Clone Wars as well, obviously, including what happens to Echo.
Right.
Which is I don't know. That might be something there, maybe.
Well, he said
Echo might. Yeah,
he hates clones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing is, I wonder if Echo holds him responsible a little bit for what happened in the Citadel, because obviously Tarkin made it out and Echo did not. So I mean, I think that might be a cool way to kind of maybe peel back even another layer, to say, what really happened with that. Like, how did he survive the explosion? That would be really cool, to see that. But yeah, I think great first entry into the show. I'm excited that it has 16 episodes. I can't believe it took until the day the show started for us to finally find out how many episodes it is, because we've been guessing basically. Although I'm happy that it's not 8 or something like that. I was worrying that maybe it was going to be oh yeah, it's 6 episodes. What?
Right.
I would have been very upset at that. But yeah.
So
that'll
on to Invincible. The finale of Invincible premiered last Thursday. What did you think of season finale, so episode 8 of season 1?
Yeah, and this will be a finale / the rest of season 1 review, because we did review the first 3 episodes. So this will be
it's also spoilers. There will be spoilers.
This is full spoilers. I'm not even gonna put the well, I guess I can put it up, whatever.
So, what did you think of Invincible season 1 as a whole?
Invincible season 1 as a whole, I think, was a really, really fantastic season. I think I'm so glad that it was renewed for season 2 and 3.
Right.
I think so. I think it's doing some of the best stuff. I think I might like it a little more than The Boys season 1. I don't know if I like it more than The Boys as a show yet, but I think in terms of if you're comparing season to season, I think I like it a little bit more than season 1 of The Boys, because it is very it's very different, but it is very similar too. I just love the main thing that I love about this show is, and I have started reading a little bit of the comics too, and what people say about it.
See, I don't want to do that because I wanted to.
Well, I've only read the first few because of after season 1.
Okay.
So that I didn't spoil.
Okay. Because what I've heard is the twist in the first episode happens down the line.
In the comics?
Yeah, the 12th, 13th issue that happens.
Yeah.
So
that's crazy.
Right.
Yeah, well, that was a critique early on of this show, was that they were the pilot, the episode 1, just bing bang boom, he's already the guy, and then all.
Yeah, I
stuff.
think that's part of you have to sell it to an audience, right? Because you only have 8 episodes in the first season.
Yeah. And then from stills that I've seen of the comic version of the finale, I mean, it is straight line for line, line for line, shot for shot, almost, of the finale of when that happens in the comics, which is super cool. But yeah, one thing that I really love about the show that people say that the comics don't do a good job of is what the show does for its secondary characters.
I've also heard that. Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, people like Adam Eve, Amber, even
the mom,
even William, the mom.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Debbie. Duh.
Yeah, Robot. All everybody.
Yeah.
Even Rexplode and stuff. they dedicate so much more screen time to them, and I feel like the fact that they build out we had one of the biggest subplots of the first season, honestly, was Robot. Which, versus the comic books, people say that, like, Robot, yes, that character progression happens in the comics, but like it's like a background story, and they chose to not bring it to the forefront, but bring it to a huge place in this show. And then also, people like Cecil, who, like, you don't really know how to feel about him for pretty much like the first half of the season. You're like, all right, especially like episode 2, right? Like where he first shows it, you're like, who the hell is this guy? Yeah. Like, what the hell's going on?
Government.
Yeah, oh, here comes the government. But then you realize, no, it's like really deep down, like Cecil's probably one of the best people on this show, that he just is. Like, imagine if one man, well, I guess Nick Fury, but imagine if Nick Fury literally all he did was like eat, breathe, and sleep, having to monitor all of these superheroes all of the time, and he just teleports from place to place because he has so much going on at once. Like, you know what I mean? And like, and you kind of view him as an asshole at first, but then you kind of realize, no, this guy genuinely cares about all of these people that he is kind of in charge of. And I came away with Cecil, I think, being one of my favorite characters of the show. And then I haven't even talked about Omni-Man yet.
No, you have not.
But Omni-Man. J.K. Simmons, absolutely fantastic.
What more can you say? Yeah.
I don't know what I honestly, I don't even know what else to say. His I guess I'll just technically, his voice acting, I think it's some of the best acting that he's ever done. Like, he's so good in this role. His voice is just so like perfect for it. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, I've seen some people saying like casting for live action Invincible.
Yeah, I've seen
they were like John Hamm or like Nick Offerman. I think if he got super buff, I think he would be good. But I mean, John Hamm would have to get super buff first. But you know who wouldn't have to get super buff is J.K. Simmons.
Yeah.
J.K. Simmons already is built like Omni-Man. Yeah. Like, literally, J.K. Simmons.
You just need like a wig.
Yeah, exactly. You just put the J. Jonah wig back on him. No, but really, if he had a proper hair and makeup, visual effects, like, even if you put him in like a Shazam style, kind of padded suit almost, he could play Omni-Man in live action in an instant.
Yeah. I saw one of those things where somebody was syncing up like his like rushing, dragging monologue from Whiplash with like when.
Oh yeah, I sent that to you. Yeah, TikTok. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I was like, this is perfect.
It's perfect. Yeah, it's absolutely perfect. And man, yeah, that scene. I mean, we could talk about that scene too at the very end with him on the mountain where he's just pounding into him. It is like, oh my gosh.
I think the most brutal scene I've ever seen. I could be wrong. I might be forgetting something. When he is plowing Mark through that subway and just killing all those people.
And when Mark's like going like this, and you're like, Mark, put your hands down. But like, it's going so fast.
Yeah,
I'm like, you can't.
This might be the most brutal thing I've ever seen. Like, it was ridiculous.
When the guy is reaching out for his daughter, and he just goes,
yeah,
he just steps on
or
her.
Even like, it's this last episode where Mark saves the guy from the jet.
Yeah, and he goes, you could have killed him. And then he just goes,
yeah.
Now, where's that other one? I love when he goes, now, where's that other guy?
Yeah, like, it was,
holy
oh my
shit. Like, when the switch flipped,
Yeah.
Like, that was outrageous.
So, I'm going to say my, like, thoughts on this. I thought the season was fantastic. I didn't really know what to think going into the show. I'd never heard of the comic or the graphic novel, whatever. I think the casting is perfect. A lot of money went into the casting. But I would also, the animation, even though I've had like critiques of the animation, I'm not.
Did a lot of money go into the casting though?
I feel like it did,
Because
right? Look at all these people.
half of them are from The Walking Dead, though.
Oh, so you think that he called in the favor?
I think he called in a lot of favors on this show. I'll tell you this: all of the Guardians of the Globe, the original team, they are all Walking Dead actors.
Okay.
Every single one.
Then maybe you're right. You could be right.
The only one I think they spent a lot of money on maybe was like J.K. Simmons.
J.K. Yeah. Because Stephen Yeun is in The Walking
Dead.
Right?
Yeah, he's Glenn. Yeah. And then like John Hamm is like kind of a
John
weird
Hamm's
out there.
But yeah, I thought everything was great. I loved
welcome, Incredible Gaming. Welcome.
I loved all the storylines. Everything I thought was fleshed out great. I still don't know how I feel about Amber. I like her, but like, you know, at the end when she's like, "Oh, I knew it all along." It's like, well, but like, you see where I'm coming from, though, right? Like, I'm saving the world. I can't tell you because if I tell you, you know, something might happen to you, you know.
And I didn't like that she did the whole like, I'm not mad, whatever. I'm mad that you didn't tell me. And it's like, okay, but but at the same time, like, cut the guy a break. Like,
yeah, give him some slack.
And then when all of a sudden he actually does some superheroing and what happens in the finale happens, she's all like, "Oh, Mark, I'm so sorry. Like I was being so selfish." It's like, no. Like,
I'd be like, "You should have seen me when I was getting my head beat in by the lion with the hammer."
Yeah.
Like that
got ripped in half.
Yeah, that was brutal.
Still don't know how he bounced back.
I don't know how any of those people survived because they should all be dead. They must have some magical like thing going on. Like they have like the highest like past Earths, like maybe even Viltrumite level like medical
tech?
or tech. You know,
well, the lights. Remember in the finale?
The finale, like, with the lights.
The water, where he's like, all of the world population can't see see this light frequency, and it's like, holy shit.
But so season 1 as a whole, I thought was great. Again, I'm not an animation expert or anything. There's like, again, I said it to you, there's times where you can tell that it seemed to be just dragging the character across the screen.
I liked it.
All of the fighting is great.
Yeah.
The fighting is definitely the best. My coworker actually brought something up where I noticed it most in this last episode, where it's like some of these still buildings, they're like 3D. Did you notice that? I don't know if that's like part of the style or if it's just like why it's like that.
I don't know. I think it might just be part of the style.
I noticed it the most in this last episode. It's just like
when the building was like falling.
No, it's just like the school with the school bus when they're just like showing it outside before they go into like Mark and whoever he's talking to. It was just kind of weird like that. But yeah, like you said, everybody's amazing. J.K. Simmons is fantastic as his character. The thing with the reason he's doing it, I'm not gonna say like
this
saw
is big spoilers now.
Yeah.
Just,
I'm not going to say I saw that coming, but I think if you would have given me a multiple choice with like 2 answers.
Yeah.
Or like, like I feel like that
or
was
even like 5 answers.
Yeah, like you could have.
He's lying about Viltrum. Okay, it's probably that one.
Well, okay, actually what I wanted to tell you, this is very Dragon Ball Z-esque.
That's what you were saying. Yeah.
So, Dragon Ball Z, Vegeta, Saiyans are, They're conquerors.
I know that much from like what you've told me especially when Alan comes back, Seth Rogen's character,
right?
When he's like, they're out there, they're conquering the whole universe.
Yeah.
Like if we had known that this planet was tagged for Viltrum takeover, like we would have never like. And when you said it was Dragon Ball-esque, I was like, oh yeah, I think he said once that like Dragon Ball is like about like conquering like the universe.
Oh, it gained a sub. Thank you.
Hey.
I'm gonna assume it was Incredible Gaming, so thank you, Incredible Gaming.
There you go.
But yeah, so Dragon Ball Z Vegeta.
You're breathtaking.
There you go. Vegeta, obviously Saiyans as a whole, they're conquering. Goku basically gets sent to Earth.
Yeah.
Not as like a savior or anything. Like he's
Dragon
just
Ball
sent there
takes
as a
place
kid.
on Earth?
Yeah. Dragon Ball Z. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Not all of it. Some of it does.
No, I didn't know. I thought it was. Just...
Oh yeah. No. Yeah.
Wow.
And then when Vegeta arrives, they face each other, and Goku kind of learns about who he is and everything like that. It's very similar to that in that way, which I thought was interesting. But I kind of wished, like, I don't know, there was, like, maybe a different spin on it some way. I don't know how, but, like, it was, like, something where it's, like, I wanted it to be, like, something I'd never seen before.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I've seen this before, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But that's a very small like critique.
Well, let's talk about the critique in the chat. Speaking of seeing it before, we have Michelle saying, I just couldn't get into the show. It reminded me so much of The Boys. It felt like a ripoff at first, and then it just turned me off. That's just my opinion.
So, I think it's fair to say that it's not a ripoff because it came before. Did it come? Is The Boys a graphic novel?
Yeah.
Okay, so I feel like I feel like it's not a ripoff. It's similar in your way, but I think with the whole son-father element, it's different in that way.
Like, I know her specifically, she was like, so in the first episode when Mark is like training, she was like, this is just like season 2 with Homelander and his son. Like, that's what she said.
Yeah.
But I was like, but that's anything. That's just any superhero training. So you could say that about any superhero training. It's the exact same thing.
The Boys is more like comedic too. Like when
this is way less of
what was it? Oh,
comedy.
when like Homelander like pushes him off the roof.
Yeah, like this is like way less of that.
Right.
This is a much more serious show.
So I would agree that it has similarities, but I think it definitely has its differences. I'm very interested to see like where, because they don't really give you any. I feel like they don't give you much to go on to look at season 2, right? Like they don't like tease anything. Like they tease that thing with Cecil and that Cecil's showing Mark, but that's about it.
Well, they do that like little thing when Alan's like, so what are you gonna do now? And then they like show all these like seeds of, and then he's just like, and you think he's gonna be like, be invincible, and he's just like, I don't know, finish high school. He's but I think all those little beats that you see, that the twins are still out there. Someone from Viltrum is probably on their way.
I do still hope they drop the whole like Invincible.
It's never gonna happen.
I just
never gonna happen.
Me. I'm sorry. I know you like it, right? You just. Like
I'm just like it's what they're doing.
Oh.
Like I'm just to me it's like it's 2 seconds and it's over. But I do understand it's like they do it every episode, so it's whatever.
Yeah.
I like the blood.
Oh yeah.
But I think they're gonna reset for season 2.
Yeah, same. I mean, they can't keep getting blood, or it's just gonna cover the screen at some point. What did you think of? What was I gonna say? What did you think of the whole like? Did you like the whole robot thing? I figured he was being controlled by someone, but I didn't think it was gonna be like this this thing in a tube. I thought that was cool.
Now, do you consider robot? Do you consider that person, Rudy?
Yeah, I would say, what's his name?
Like his actual name is Rudy. So, like the robot that we see in the first few episodes before we find out, do you consider that to be like him? Because I would consider it to be him. Like Like I don't think of it as like him being controlled by someone. I just think of it as that is him.
Right.
That's just what he's speaking through.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, I'd consider that like him. It's just like his conduit.
Yeah.
To
the only
talking.
drawback to me of what is happening now with it is we did see though that after what happened, he still uses robot.
Yeah, he gets in
now. Battle. Yeah. So we still get my only thing is like we don't get Zachary Quinto all the time. We only get him when he's in the suit. So I was like, that's a little disappointing. Like, I get that he's in a new body and he's younger, but I still think they could have kept the same voice. You know what I mean? If that makes sense, I don't know.
Rudy is Ross Marquand.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Red Skull.
Add that to the list of the fucking people in this show.
Yeah.
I hope. Quick question. I hope we get Damien Darkblood back.
Oh yeah.
Because I don't know where he's gonna end up. And then is Mark Hamill's character Art Rosenbaum? Who is that? I forget.
He's the suit maker.
Oh, gotcha.
He's like Taylor.
Right. Okay. Now I know. All right.
Yeah.
Because I thought for some reason he was the guy who like. Do you remember that guy that like I think he like causes earthquakes or something?
Oh yeah,
that they fight for a short period of time. I
the-
thought that was him for some reason.
with the bracelets.
Yeah. And then I was like, oh no, that doesn't sound like him. But yeah, I'm so excited for season 2. And I'm just interested to see like where I don't know what's gonna happen with Omni-Man.
So, like we said, let's let's wind down on this. Okay, I think so. Let's just wrap up with what we think is gonna happen with Omni-Man, because I've seen it's been it's not a spoiler, I don't think, but the next villains, for the consensus I've seen online and reviews I've watched, the next villains that we're going to get are different Viltrumites. So I don't know if Omni-Man will even be in season 2. Which is, sad, because we won't get JK, but I mean, he's busy over in another comic book universe. Snyderverse, obviously. No, but seriously, he's playing J. Jonah Jameson in like 6 movies next year. So I could understand if he needs a 1-year break from Invincible or something like that. But I would like to see, I don't know if it'll happen, but we don't know, and that's why it's nice that we haven't read ahead in the comics. I would like to see wherever he went, him come back and realize the error of his ways. Like I'd like to see him. See, that's I just don't know. Like, you would have to make the rest. You would have to make the rest of Viltrumites like absolutely the worst beings like in existence.
Yeah.
Like, yes,
because what we've seen of him, he can murder anybody.
Yeah, he could wipe out the whole planet himself.
Yeah,
if he wanted to, and he does want to, but he didn't because of his son,
right?
Because of a baseball game.
Yeah, and his and his pet, as he refers to as his wife.
Yeah,
which I was like, you should not have said that. And then Mark, when I think Mark gets like 2 shots in, and I was like, oh, he's gonna fight. Like, I did not expect.
Because it was the same thing that happened in the earlier episode. Remember the aliens?
Yeah.
That came in.
Yeah.
And like Mark was kind of like getting his ass beat, and then he like went.
He
like
destroys
God mode.
their planet.
Yeah, and then he went like no, but I mean Mark on Earth. Like he goes like God mode, and like Robot and everybody's like, what the hell was that? And he's like, I don't know, I just got angry. Like
it's like he literally went Super Saiyan.
Yeah, like he went Super Saiyan in that, but then he did the exact same thing in the finale to his dad.
Yeah. And
all he could get in was 2 punches. Like, I love that they showed that. That the first one he went like crazy God mode and he could take out this entire threat. And in the finale, he went the same amount of God mode, and all he could get was 2 punches in on his dad.
Because there was when I was watching, I was like, "Wow, is he really gonna get his ass beat?" And then he like gets those 2 punches. I was like, "Oh, I was like, "Oh no, he's getting his ass beat."
And then when he says, the whole, it's all over TikTok right now. Yeah. But the whole like, what's another 17 years? I can just always start again. Have a new son. You know what I mean? Like. I love just oh my God, J.K. Simmons, man.
Yeah.
He is great. Very different to the other J.K. Simmons that we'll be reviewing soon. On the channel.
Yeah. But I think he comes back in season 2. I don't know in what way. Like, I just don't think you can have that character like change,
I don't think he's gonna come back and be like,
oh, I'm different.
I don't think he's gonna come back and be like, I was being controlled. I'm great again. You know what I mean? I think he's going to come back and keep Earth, and then leave again.
But I don't think.
But he can't take on the whole Viltrum Empire himself.
No, he can't.
And even with just him and Mark, no way.
Yeah, like the other thing is like I don't think he can come back because I don't think his wife forgives him.
No, after what he said, absolutely not. Yeah.
Like I did like when Mark's like looking at the picture of them. I like that he puts it down because I was like, if you leave it up, that like I feel like at this point he should be like, fuck this guy, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm hyped for season 2 is probably next year at some point. So I'm really hyped.
Yeah, I wonder if they're already working on it.
Oh, I'd imagine.
I'd probably. Yeah. So I think that'll do it. Look at that. We're right at an hour and a half. I think that'll do it for this episode 42. Can you tell me right now in Hitchhiker's Guide to Galaxy, what is the answer to life, the universe, and everything?
I don't fucking know.
42.
42.
Welcome, well, no, not welcome. Goodbye on episode 42 of Planet Film Live. Join us back here on Saturday. We're not sure what form it's going to take yet, but we will be bringing you Planet Council in some way, shape, or form to break down the full spoilers of episode 1, and then really to break down all of episode 2, because that'll come out on Friday. Make sure to check out our merch in the link in the video description. Yeah, and you could follow us and tweet at us. Let me take the spoiler thing off. You could follow us and you could tweet at us at PlanetFilmNet on Twitter. So yeah, let us know what you thought of Invincible. What did you think of the premiere of Bad Batch? Let us know all that. Are you sad to see both Cisco and Wells go on The Flash? And what are your thoughts on the awesome, epic kind of Phase 4 teaser that we got from Marvel? Let us know all of your thoughts in the comments down below or on Twitter. And as always, I am one of your hosts, Sean Monk, and you can follow me at PasteEatingYak on Twitter.
And I'm your other host, TJ Cornwell. You can find me at TJ_Cornwell on Twitter and Instagram. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you thought of the Bad Batch premiere and Invincible Season 1. Check out our other reaction videos on the channel, as well as some of our reviews. And we will see you on Saturday.
Boom, boom.